Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Jack, the muscle and mobility maker with Stronghold Strength and Conditioning. And today, I'm taking you through some exercises that'll help you with your thoracic disc bulge. But before we get into it, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. It doesn't get better than that. So take advantage of it. Ready? Let's go ahead and dive into this one. Alright, like I said, today we're going to be taking you through some exercises to help you with your thoracic disc bulge. So if you're experiencing a thoracic disc bulge, this is first of all one of the least common bulges that we will see, or herniations that we'll see to a disc. Normally it's going to be your lumbar spine or your cervical spine that's going to be impacted and herniated. But in this case, thoracic disc bulges can most often occur in the result of a trauma. Okay, so if you experience a direct trauma, if you have poor posture, if you have obesity, this tends to link to that. If you are someone who is repeatedly doing motions over and over again and that you're struggling with some maybe degenerative disc in that area, something similar to that. These are some of the most common causes of the least common type of disc herniation that we'll see overall. And what you might normally feel while you have that thoracic disc bulge would be pain in that mid-back region that's going to either be tingling, numbness, sharp pain, burning, aching type sensations to that mid-back. It might radiate around the rib cage. You might experience muscle weakness in the area or lack of control to some of the muscles around that area. And these are some of the issues that you'll really experience overall. Today, what we're going to be doing is taking you through some of the exercises that we can help to get some movement back to your spinal column overall. Try and nourish the disc as much as possible by taking it through some of these gentle movements and placing the disc back into a good position, helping to recentrate it, and then overall stabilizing your core around that disc. So that's going to be our approach today. And what we'll do is go ahead and jump into those exercises and talk you through it as we go here. Alright, the first thing we're going to start with is some thoracic extension. This is a seated banded cat-cow here. So I have a band anchored at about chest height on a post. I have it under my arm so it is on that thoracic range, and you can kind of change the height of the band if you need here. But what I'm doing is flexing back into the band a little bit and then extending back over the band. You could also do this from a back of a chair if you need. So if you're seated in a chair and you can't use a band, you could do a similar effect where you're doing a slight cat-cow in that position, or even start with a basic cat-cow from the floor and work on just slight flexion and then extension back into the position here. Still working extension, still working with the band. Now I've moved it to the anchor point being down low, and I still have it around the same position. What I want to do is a press up. Now you can start very low with this in the first place. We're just trying to get a little bit of pressure to help centrate that disc again. But as you get more comfortable, you want to increase the height of your press at that point. Keep your shoulder blades down and back, elbows rotating in towards your ribs, and you can start to play with any other movements that start to feel good as well as you have that pressure across that disc there. So start small, build this one up. You can use a towel, or you can anchor the band around your back with your hands pressing into it. Those are other ways that you could set this one up. But here I do have that band anchored down low on that post so that it wraps around my back and I'm inside the loop of the band here. So this is another option to help you get some extension back in that thoracic spinal column. Build it up gradually as your body tolerates. And our goal, as always, is to get the symptoms to centrate closer to the origin of the pain here. Next, we're going to start to work some thoracic rotation. Here I have a band around the shoulder that's farthest from the post. I do have my opposite leg crossed over here so that I'm in a rotational position, and I'm using my hand on the free side to actually hold that leg down. The band is giving me a good cue to actually pull that shoulder blade to the floor, so we're using that to help us get into a nice resisted rotation here. As you rotate, you do want to exhale and inhale as you come out of that rotation. So use your breath to help with this and relax into it as much as possible. Another option is the banded thread the needle. So I have my band anchored low on the post this time. It is hooked in my hand there so that I am using the resistance of the band, and I'm actually pressing, trying to stretch that band as I rotate. You can see my elbow bends, I do fold some, and I'm trying to rotate across my own arm there, bringing my head and chin into the crease of my elbow as I rotate. Again, I do want to exhale as I rotate, inhale as I come back to neutral here. I'm using the foam roller to get a nice smooth roll and reach and provide a little bit of elevation to that arm as well. So that is helpful in that way. If this one is challenging at first, you can go without the band and just do it with the roller even. Now that we've opened up some new range of motion and we've worked on some of that thoracic mobility, what we want to do is stabilize around it as much as possible. So the first one we're starting with here is a bird dog movement where we're extending the arm and the leg at the same time. I want to make sure that I only extend the leg as far as I can where the glutes feel a nice strong contraction, but I don't feel myself arching into my low back. So that's where my abs come into play to help control a neutral pelvis and spine. You'll feel a lot of work being done here. There is some flexion when you touch the knee to the elbow, and you do want to work both sides as you're doing this, but focus on strict form and very tight contractions. That's our goal here, is the stability of the movement. My elbow of my arm that's planted is rotated toward my ribs, and my shoulder blade is connected on my upper back to create stability from the upper body there. Just pay attention to that. That's very helpful. Still working core stability. The next one is a dowel assisted forearm plank. Now the purpose of the dowel is to help place your arms in an externally rotated position, which is going to bring more stability to your shoulders overall. So you do want your wrists to be slightly wider than your elbow when you set up. Shoulder blades are down and back, abs are bridging the shoulders to a nice solid pelvis where you're flexing the glutes tight and the quads at the same time. So hold this position 60 seconds or so and maintain tension again. So 30 to 60 seconds should be plenty if you're intentionally working the tension you hold in that exercise. And lastly, we do want to strengthen our extension due to the nature of thoracic herniations. So we want to be able to extend strong from our back. Here I'm using what I call a skydiver movement. The biggest thing here to focus on first is that you're engaging your glutes and pinning your pelvis to the floor in the very initial part before you ever lift. So first of all, get engagement from the glutes, pin the pelvis to the floor, and then from there we're going to retract the scapula, pulling the shoulder blades together, and peel the quads up off the floor, reaching the bottom of the feet for the floor. So you want everything to meet in the middle there, and that's what allows you to actually balance in this position on the nice stable pelvis of your glutes, and you will have a good contraction in your abdomen as well to help set that base to work from there. All right, and there you have it. Simple exercises that you can use to help improve your thoracic disc herniation that you've been dealing with. If you like this video, make sure you let me know by clicking that big thumbs up down below, and take a moment to share this one with a friend, especially if you know that this is something they've been struggling with and need some help with. If this is something you've been struggling with for some time now and you're looking for help resolving your pain, what I want you to do is drop down below in the description to fill out a coaching application and schedule a mobility blueprint call. This will be our opportunity to get on a Zoom call together so that I could first of all take you through a full assessment, gather all the information I'm going to need to tailor that program specific to your needs, and then lay out for you in full detail what that program will look like. Once we have all that, we'll get you moving in the right direction and resolving that pain that you're experiencing. So if that sounds good to you, head down below in that description right now, fill out that application, get your call scheduled, and we'll start moving in the right direction. Last but not least, if you have not already, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. It doesn't get better than that. Welcome to the Stronghold Army. See you next week.